For my October newsletter, I did a video introduction, which wasn't any bit comfortable, but sometimes you need to try new things. I got a lot of feedback on it, and one thing I got that I loved was somebody emailed me and said it reminded them of the swap shop in Gardner, which she said probably I'd never heard of it, but of course I had. And I grew up listening to the swap shop. My grandmother had it blaring in her apartment every time it was on. It was a radio call-in show on AM radio in Gardner, and it would be people saying like, my name's Ann, I've got a 25-year-old dining room set. I'd like to get $40 for it. Here's my phone number. I don't think they gave their addresses out, but it was pretty sketchy. Also, it was really fun. We never bought anything from it, but it was fun to listen to. So I have my newsletter just came out, and unfortunately, I have to look at the list or else I will forget stories that are in this month's newsletter. So here's what I have. It's always a mix of interesting information. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, but I ran out of time, so I don't have anything about Thanksgiving. So we do love our sides here at my house. So if you have a great side or an appetizer recipe, I'd love to hear that. Speaking of Thanksgiving, it's the time of year where food pantries get the most donations, but I try to remind people that people need to eat year-round. So people have been very generous donating to the food pantry collection box in front of my office at 107 Main Street in Westminster, and then I bring everything over to the Westminster Community Food Pantry, which is open to Westminster residents. So I put together a story in this month's newsletter that is for local resource for food pantries throughout Central Mass. So whether you need food or you have food you can donate, check out that story. Coming up next week is one of my favorite days, the Ashburnham Westminster Foundation for Academic Excellence, a Night for Excellence. We've been doing it for about 16 years. This year it's being held at Wachusett Mountain. I have a story about it, and you can click through to buy your tickets. They're $75 per person, goes to a great cause. You get a dinner, drink ticket, music by Retro Stew, which is local Chris Lukander in it, appetizers, dessert, coffee, live music, lots of auctions. We make all our money to donate into the Ash West schools from the auctions, and I do most of my Christmas shopping that night. So that's Friday, November 21. I recently had a client want me to talk about the impact of capital gains from the sale of their house, and I know what I know, and I know what I'm not, and what I'm not is a tax advisor. So I checked with a tax advisor, and she wrote a story about it, and it's pretty clear. It's kind of what I thought, but it's very clear and informative. You've probably never heard of NARM, which is the North American Reciprocal Museum Association, and Jay and I love Newport. So last time we were in Newport, we bought a NARM membership, which gives us a year of 1 million museums throughout Massachusetts, throughout the whole North America, obviously, NARM. It was, I think, $115 for two of us. We can bring guests when we go to Newport, so that's really cool. I just learned that there's a new thrift shop in the Princeton Congregational Church, which is why I'm a tiny bit fancier today. And then I decided to write a story about local thrift shops, consignment shops, vintage clothing shops. Adam's favorite is Jerry's Warehouse in Worcester. And I've been going to the new thrift shop in Princeton 2 weeks in a row now. I'm hosting my first ever client appreciation event. A little nervous, so I hope everybody signs up. So if we've ever had a transaction, or if you've ever sent me anybody that's kind of on the honor system, I might ask you who you are if you're a total stranger to me, but it's a free mini sessions for photos. So I've hired a very well-known local photography studio, and it's going to be on Thursday, December 4, by sign up only. And when you sign up, I will give you more information on it. So there's a story about that with a, I think, adorable picture of myself, my brother, and my German Shepherd Heidi from the mid-1970s. We have a story about the Westminster Strummers, which is not just Westminster, but it's a local, connected to the senior center, fun group of people who get together and play the ukulele, and they do little mini concerts. I've recognized people from Princeton in the video and people from Westminster in the video, so that's fun. Holiday house tours. I love holiday house tours. I stupidly one year signed up to be on one as a motivator to get my house unpacked from when we moved, and that was a lot. But I love going to them, and it's really fun to see other people like go through fancy houses that are all nicely decorated. I have a local business review of Last Minute Flowers and Gifts. I saw a friend receive flowers from them and they were beautiful, and I had an occasion I needed to send flowers, so I love locally owned. They're right in Fitchburg. And last month's story that was the most popular was Secondhand Summit, which is a new local business in Princeton. And I'm trying to think, what was it? Oh, it's because of my new video. So I got this baby from a client who was discarding it. And this is a very fancy, and if you're too young to know what this is very fancy because it says full auto shut off. Now I remember the cassette player I had did the clicking at the end. So this one shuts off by itself and it has a counter for some reason. But why I remember this is because in my 4th grade class, at Auto River Elementary School, Priscilla Sullivan, one of my top 2 favorite teachers ever, her, and fun fact, Pete Gallant, my 5th and 6th grade social studies teacher in Baldwinville. I know everything I know about Mesopotamia and the Fertile Crescent and Sumer from Mr. Gallant. So anyway, in 4th grade, Mrs. Sullivan wanted us to record our book reports, and I heard my voice for the first time and I was horrified, and I remember thinking, I'm never talking again. That's not me. I don't sound like that. So I couldn't help but laugh when I saw this. My client was throwing this away. This is a microphone. This is what we would talk into and record, and then you had to manually turn things over, and you couldn't just like skip a song. It would take a long time. So anyway, I love things like this. I love I get this old technology to show my kids so they're all confused and then they know it and then they move on. So I hope anybody who is a client, past client, future client, signs up for my free client event, which is my photos, December 4th. And I hope you share my newsletter with other people. And if I can be any kind of resource, you can private message me through my Facebook page, my Instagram. You can call or text me, 978-870-9260. Email me at jennifershenk.com. Sorry, that was too quick, jennifershenk.com. Or visit jenshenk.com, and there's a contact button. There's also a newsletter tab on there. So I hope you spend your Saturday morning, get lost in a few stories, enjoy the reading, and let me know if I can help in any way. Have a great day.